Welcome back to Jazzidify. Today we journey to Ireland to explore the O'Neill dynasty, a tribe whose story is etched into the very landscape of Ulster and whose legacy still shapes Ireland's identity today. Before we begin, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Your support helps me bring you more hidden histories from around the world. Imagine standing on the wind-swept hill of Tullyhogue, where chieftains once gathered beneath ancient oaks. The air is thick with the echoes of Gaelic poetry, the clang of swords and the whispered counsel of druids. This is the world of the O'Neills, warriors, kings and keepers of tradition. The O'Neill name, O'Neill, means descendant of Niall, a reference to Niall of the Nine Hostages, a figure who straddles the line between myth and history. Niall's legend is foundational. He's said to have unified Northern Ireland, led daring raids as far as Roman Britain, and, according to some accounts, was responsible for the abduction of the boy who would become St. Patrick. But beyond the myths, genetic studies have shown that a significant proportion of men in northwestern Ireland share a common Y chromosome marker, tracing back to a single ancestor, likely the historical Niall. This makes the O'Neill story not just legend, but a living heritage that still connects people today. By the 11th century, the O'Neills had become the dominant force in Ulster, ruling from their seat at Tullyhogue Fort. Here, the inauguration of each new chieftain was a ritual steeped in symbolism. The chief would place his foot in a sacred stone, binding himself to the land and his people. Yet the O'Neills were more than warriors. They were patrons of the arts, supporting bards whose poetry preserved the tribe's genealogy, victories, and even their defeats. These oral histories were vital. At a time when written records were rare, the bards' verses kept the memory of the tribe alive, and their emblem, the Red Hand of Ulster, is shrouded in legend itself. Some say it was claimed in a bloody race for kingship, an ancestor severing his own hand and casting it ashore to win the right to rule. The 12th century brought the Normans, whose castles and cavalry threatened the old Gaelic order. The O'Neills adapted, sometimes allying with invaders, sometimes fiercely resisting. Unlike many Irish families who faded under foreign pressure, the O'Neills maintained their power for centuries, even as English influence grew. The 16th century saw the O'Neills at the heart of Ireland's last stand for independence. Hugh O'Neill, the Earl of Tyrone, led the 9 Years' War against English rule, a conflict that drew in Spain and nearly changed the fate of the British Isles. Hugh's military tactics were ahead of his time. Guerrilla warfare, scorched earth retreats, and alliances with other Gaelic lords. For a moment it seemed the O'Neills might restore a free Gaelic Ireland. But defeat at the Battle of Kinsale in 1601 and the subsequent flight of the Earls marked the end of their reign. Exile did not erase the O'Neills. Instead, they became legends across Europe. The wild geese, Irish soldiers who fled to serve in continental armies, carried the O'Neill name into the ranks of Spain, France, and Austria. O'Neill descendants became generals, diplomats, and even advisors to kings. In Spain, the O'Neills were granted noble titles and lands, and their story became part of the broader Irish diaspora, a tale of resilience and adaptation. Meanwhile, in Ireland, the O'Neill name became a rallying cry for Catholic and nationalist causes, invoked in rebellions and remembered in folk songs. The O'Neills were not just political leaders, they were cultural guardians. Their patronage of poets and chroniclers preserved the Irish language and a wealth of oral tradition. The Annals of the Four Masters, one of Ireland's most important historical records, was compiled under the protection of O'Neill allies. Even as English became dominant, the O'Neills and their kin kept Gaelic alive in the north. Their influence is still felt in the dialects, music, and storytelling traditions of Ulster. The Red Hand, once a symbol of kingship, now appears on flags, sports teams, and public buildings, a reminder of the tribe's enduring influence on Irish identity. Today, the O'Neill name is found across the world, from Ireland to America, Australia, and beyond. Many may not know the full story of their ancestors, but the legacy endures in the family reunions, historical societies, and the ongoing fascination with Irish roots. Sites like Tullyhogue and Shane's Castle draw visitors seeking a tangible link to the past. In Northern Ireland, the O'Neill story is woven into the complex tapestry of identity, politics, and reconciliation. The O'Neills teach us that history is not just a record of kings and battles, but a living tradition, one that shapes language, art, and the sense of belonging. The influence of the O'Neill dynasty continues to echo in the halls of modern Irish and Northern Irish politics. Today's administrations, shaped by the Good Friday Agreement and ongoing conversations about unity and identity, often invoke the O'Neill legacy as a symbol of resilience and cultural pride. Government-supported heritage initiatives work to preserve O'Neill sites, promote the Irish language and culture, and educate new generations about the tribe's impact. In Northern Ireland, where questions of identity remain central, the O'Neill name is part of broader discussions about reconciliation and the future of the island. But the O'Neill legacy isn't just about the past, it's also about how Ireland is shaping its future. This brings us to the present day and the role of Ireland's current leadership. Ireland's current president, Michael D. Higgins, has served since 2011 and is renowned for his commitment to social justice, culture, and national unity. Under his leadership, Ireland has continued to embrace its heritage while looking to the future. President Higgins and his administration have championed the arts, education, and the Irish language, values that echo the O'Neill tradition of cultural stewardship. His presidency has also focused on promoting inclusivity, supporting peace and reconciliation on the island, and ensuring Ireland's prosperity in a rapidly changing world. Initiatives aimed at sustainable economic growth, investment in technology and education, and a strong commitment to the European Union have positioned Ireland as a forward-thinking nation. The administration's dedication to social progress and cultural pride ensures that Ireland remains a vibrant, prosperous and inclusive society for generations to come. In many ways, the spirit of the O'Neills, resilient, adaptable and deeply connected to the land and its people, lives on in the vision and actions of Ireland's current leaders. From mythic beginnings to modern revival, the O'Neill story is one of resilience, adaptation and cultural pride. The journey reminds us that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the stories we tell, the songs we sing, and the symbols we cherish. If you enjoyed this deeper dive into the O'Neill dynasty, subscribe for more hidden histories and cultural journeys with Jezedify. Which part of the O'Neill story resonated with you most? Let's continue the conversation in the comments below.